Hello, gorgeous you. It's time to create a life you adore with fun, fulfillment, freedom, whatever it is that makes up a life you adore. Today, I'm joined by an intuitive goddess, Abby Gooch. Now, Abby trains men, women, and children throughout the world to develop their intuition, to heal and create lives that they desire. She's a founder, easy for me to say. She's the founder of Life Force Connection, One Heart Global, and the author of Touch the Light, The Miracle of You, and the Intuitive Success Coaching Process and Certification Program. Mazeballs, Abby, thank you for being here, beautiful. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you very much. Very, very, very good. So you have obviously created a life you adore. How much has intuition helped with that? Because I was going to say it's a big part of your life, but is it? Tell me about you and your connection with the intuition.
So I'd say it probably is my life. So intuition is definitely what got me here and what I really believe in at the core of our being allows us to live our best life, to live a life we adore, and just truly be who we are. So to me, your intuition is your soul embodied. So it's that ability to fully express the love within you and be guided by that as the primary foundation and really objective, actually. It's kind of the start and the finish point. Love.
Amazing. I love that. Have you always been intuitive and known what to do with your intuition? Known how to follow it and what it's saying?
Yeah, I would say when I was about 8 years old, I was in the laundry room with my mom, and I'm like, Mom, I feel like the world and it's holding me in it, and I'm holding it at the same time. So there was like this presence of what I would call God or life force energy that I could feel. And so ever since then, I started seeing things so I could see beyond the physical. And I just had this sense of this underlying energy that was running basically. And so when I could tune into that, and really, the best way is to first connect with the heart. So when I would tune into the heart, I could feel that presence. And then I drop into my core, my beingness, and be able to really sense and know that. So I had that intuition, the awareness of it, most profoundly since I was 8. But we all have it. I tuned in very young because I think it's why I'm here to bring people into that awareness of it, because as you live from that place, you really are able to create, right? It's a very powerful place. And the greatest power is love, right? That's what my mom would always tell me. So it's like when you're tuned in, it's like, okay, what do I want to create now? And we can talk about more of, what I've been able to in other people, because it's infinite what you can do with intuition for sure.
Sounds like you had a pretty cool mum saying that about love.
Totally. Yeah, still do. Yeah.
So, if someone, you said that we all have intuition, as we do, but not everyone knows how to tap into it, especially in an accurate, tangible way. Have you got any tips for people who feel maybe that connection's blocked or they don't feel very intuitive?
Mhm. Yeah, it's a really good question, and I was sure that somebody was going to ask it. So, basically, what you can do is you can bring your awareness from your head into your heart. So, you may even want to close your eyes now if you're in a safe place to do so. If you're not driving or anything, take a few deep breaths. You can even place a hand on your heart if you'd like, and just start to feel from your heart. So, allow each thought to meet with the love of your heart. Your mind will become quiet, your heart will open, and you can start to feel. Start to feel, notice what you notice. You can feel the room around you. You can feel us. You can feel anybody else in the room if they're with you. Feeling yourself, maybe nature, the building. Noticing all the things you can sense, the vibration, the energy. And then as you do, you're going to bring your awareness now deeper, even still. Imagine even a spiral of light moving down from your heart, connecting straight to your core, 2 inches below your belly button, right at your gut feeling, that instinctual knowing of truth, that certainty, that wisdom, feeling it, knowing it, truth within. And that settled feeling can come in gently. It's already there. And maybe taking a few deep breaths there into that area and see golden white light there settling in and feeling comfortable in your center, your connection to truth. Unlocking the door now. As you do, you'll notice your body might settle. You'll feel more and more awareness, more and more truth, more and more trust in yourself, because you're really learning to trust yourself at a deeper level. And that builds this inner confidence that can actually be a leader for both your own and other people's lives if you or they choose. Keeping your eyes closed, just taking a few more breaths just to feel and sense and know everything that you're experiencing. You might even want to ask a question internally to yourself and notice your relationship to your intuition now, being able to start to answer that question, even if it's as much as a feeling tone. Later, an image can come or an inner voice. So just start to notice how you're building this connection with your intuition. And then, of course, whenever you feel complete, you can open your eyes and you can always go back into this, right? As part of your daily life, your intuitive you connection. We have a show on it now, right? It's like, how are you constantly in that connection where you're able to just move in to that deeper level of truth and knowing and just be guided by it, right? It's super fun. It's very easy. Very
Love
easy.
it. Wow. Yeah. And very peaceful as well. It's a beautiful well of peace and grace, isn't it? That
Yeah.
connection with your intuition.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, I teach it to kids now too with the intuitive child, and they can feel it. It's just a knowing. It's like they'll just sit there in meditation and it's just like completely quiet because they can sense it, right? Like it's already there. It's, yeah, like I said, it's about tuning in.
Yeah. And sadly, I think it's probably a connection that we lose automatically as the ego comes in between the ages of 4 to 7. I don't know, making that up, but it kind of
I don't know
resonates.
that you lose it. I don't think you ever lose intuition. You can maybe feel, I talk about being temporary disconnected, feel disconnected from your life force energy, but it's a matter of flipping on the light switch and then bringing into awareness, oh, why do I feel disconnected? So usually the core of all disconnection is some level of fear. So what needs to feel more love? What needs to have light shine on it? So that fear, and actually a lot of the work is shining light on the fearful beliefs that can almost try to stop the intuition, right? Because even, oh, do people have it? Oh, well, no, yeah, of course they do. That's a belief, right? Blocking what's already there. So just kind of noticing, how can I reconnect to my intuition? How can I, that's why I say go to your heart first, because that opens the gateway to your soul. It's love, right? So that love starts to dispel whatever was there, potentially blocking you and your mind or whatever. And yes, like my mom, both my parents, were encouraging of my intuition. So it was easier in some ways. I mean, I had different challenges. I was tested very young with people telling me things that weren't true. So I developed my intuition in that contrast almost, right, of like, wait, no, this is true, even though you say this, I feel this to be true. So whatever your experience is, your intuition can be developed in it, whether you have these really supportive parents or it feels like it's hard because the world's giving you the opposite. Either way, it's there for you and can grow and develop.
Wow. Yeah. Wow. It's taken me a moment to kind of to digest. I love that. Do you think that when I think of creating a life we adore, I think sometimes we maybe get waylaid by things that we think we want or that our parents want or society or whatever, maybe egoic. And then there's what our heart and soul loves. But no, whatever path we're on, do you think, where does the intuition come in helping us to create that life, whether it's from the head or the heart?
Yeah, I love that question, Jerry. It's beautiful because, yeah, we're always creating, right? So I think the first step again is to go to the heart. So as you feel with your heart, what is the essence of what you want? How do you want to feel? Because a life you adore, even those words, a life I adore, feel the vibration of the word adore. Adore is adoration. You're loving it. So as you're feeling into your heart, it's what do I love? Because a life you adore is going to be a manifestation of what you love. So if you're truly feeling with your heart, it's going to be that, right? You're going to be creating it based on what you love. And as you become the energy of love, this is a lot of what we teach in the intuitive success coaching process. As you become the energy, you naturally attract it. And so success is so easy because you're clear. And when you're connected to your soul through your intuition, you're in alignment. So the level of purpose and fulfillment is off the charts. And then money is like usually quadrupled. It's ridiculous amounts of money because that follows the alignment. So it's basically heart, gut, which is soul, and then manifestation, right? And so there's no way there's no way you can't do it. It's just there, like it's just,
Yeah.
that's just gonna happen. So I hope that
Yeah.
answers your question. It's really going to your heart rather than thinking. It's like, well, I think I could want this car. Awesome. Okay, how does that car make you feel?
Exactly.
You know?
You got to be it to see it.
Yeah, and realize it's not even the thing, it's how it makes you feel.
Yes.
You
Yeah,
know?
yeah, yeah. That took me so many decades to work out. I remember a shamanic teacher in Glastonbury
Yeah.
telling me that about money about 2 or 3 decades ago. And so I just went out and I spent all this money, and probably money I also didn't even have. I was like, no, that's not it. I was a bit of a painful lesson.
Yeah.
um, so I'm wondering about whether you have wobbly days. What are they like? What you do, and what do you recommend for others if they have a wobbly morning?
Wobbly days. I don't usually have wobbly days unless it's early in the morning. That's funny. Um, but I guess what came to mind when you said that is if I ever have like a disharmony in my relationship and my partnership, if something's a little bit off, it can affect me. So what I find is I have to be in alignment with truth, my partner, with every person in my life. That's what can throw me off. So I just really do my best to come in from my heart because we don't always know. For me, I can just speak for me. I don't always know what's going on with the other person until I tune in with my intuition and ask. So if there's ever any wobbly, I don't know that it's wobbly. Like I said, it's more just like if there's any dissonance, there's any dissonance. It's like what I do is I go straight to, we can use the word God, universe, life force, whatever resonates with every person listening. But I basically go into spirit, into my own connection first to be like, okay, what's the guidance here? Exactly what I said, head, heart, gut. All right. Here's where I am. And then I can actually see the energy of what's going on, with him, and then ask and have the conversation and be like, hey, so that's usually what it is. But I mean, yeah, for the most part, it's pretty harmonious because when we're living in our hearts, it's pretty easy, right? And then there has to be room for everybody, myself included, to grow. So I think that, yeah, I hope that answers your question. Wobbly, how do I get
Yeah,
back in? Basically, reconnect. If I
I love
feel
it.
disconnected, reconnect.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I love that.
Or
And you make
meditation.
it,
Yeah.
well, I was going to say you make it sound simple, but that is really simple, easy guidance to follow. So yeah, thank you for that.
Yeah, it's simple, right? Like almost everything I'm saying is simple. It's just a matter of doing it and applying it, right?
Exactly.
Not hard. It's just like, oh yeah, remember, and the other word was, yeah, meditation, right? So you can connect like in a second, and then if you need to meditate for like 10 or 15 minutes or whatever the time is, just to kind of get quiet and listen, you can be receptive to hear.
Yeah, I love that. I have a really, I think it's a bit crazy, but cool. A definition of success, one of them is to awaken in the morning with joy and excitement for the day. And I don't think that has to happen every single day. But do you have a definition of success? What's success for you?
That's so fun. I remember one of my previous partners asked me that, and it was basically like it's sharing like the most amount of love with people and actually receiving love because I love having the wealth, but like I said, it's the energy underneath it. So being that is so rewarding for me, right? It's like the amount of money is secondary to the joy and the connection I feel with everybody in my life and watching them fulfill and live their best lives. Um, yeah, and now teaching children is just such a beautiful gift. So, yeah, basically the definition of success is loving and being loved like the biggest capacity, right? That's probably
I,
it.
I love that. I love that. And it includes community as well. It's so
Yeah, for
beautiful.
sure. Absolutely.
What was there a time when maybe you didn't have a life you adore, or a moment when just tough times when your life changed, a pivotal change time in your life, where maybe you learned lessons out of that time?
Hmm. So I don't think there's ever been a time where it wasn't a life I adored. There might have been like a pause point. So I got a scholarship to go to college, and I was like, I don't really like this. And that's when the intuitive success coaching process started to come through. So I took time off for like 2 months, I think, and went back home. So it was like a pause button, but then it's like, nope, I'm going to create the life that I want. What else do I want? What else do I want? Like, keep going with that. And then I started my practice, like 6 months later. So I'd say I'd hit pause buttons to kind of realign. Like I said, like just tune in the moment. Okay, what's next? Because I've always believed and known like we're here to create a life we love. So it's just, okay, what do I need to keep building on that and keep growing on that? But I feel like, yeah, I've always been doing that because I have that innate knowing of that God energy that, okay, it's growing, it's growing. So there's never been a point other than pause. Okay, how do I keep growing through this, right? So it's not to say there's not any challenges. It's like pause button. What do I need to go to the next level? But it's always been a deeper, higher expression of love. Yeah.
Gorgeous. I love it. I love it. I'm really feeling that energy of you just really walking your talk as well. Probably dancing your talk.
Both, both. And that to me, that's the highest integrity. Like there's no way I could teach it unless I was living it. So like I tested it, I created it, I channeled it. It's like, well, if it works for me and other people, okay, then I can. But unless I was living it, I was like, there's no way I could even feel right about teaching it?
Yeah,
So
yeah. Do you ever meet people what would you say to someone who really feels like really stuck in their current situation, maybe hopeless, not sure of the way out? What would you say to them?
go to my YouTube channel and watch Intuitive You because it's just like you want to get in the energy of it, right? Or go to Intuition Income Summit, like go to Life Force Connection, get connected with a community that's already in the energy because there might just be one thing on this video or one of those videos that's like, oh yeah, like it's here. Because remember, you already know, you already are connected to your intuition. So you're remembering what you already know. So if you're feeling stuck, it's like, let me open to the truth. Let me open to the answer. It's the solution is here. So if you just allow yourself to be guided and listen, just with the 3 steps I even gave you, right, of connecting in, it's there. And you don't have to be stuck. Just know that.
Nice.
As you take one action forward, you're unsticking.
Yeah.
It grows.
I love that. I love that. And I joke, well, it's not really joke, but something I say to people is if you can just open an eyelid or close an eyelid or just imagine, what you'd love or a way out or whatever. Because we so often, oh my God, I do this. We use our warrior energy rather than stepping into our warrior energy and using our imagination for, creating what we love. I believe that everyone has a spark in them. And that might be in terms of living their purpose or, doing some gorgeous, juicy work in the world, which I think serves us in the end. Yeah, we can all create something wonderful. We can all create a life that we adore. What advice or what would you say to people who maybe haven't found their thing, haven't found that spark, or have lost it? They had it and lost it.
Hmm. So I love that because I agree with you. There's at least a spark, even more light, love, truth, connection within you. And so, what I feel in every cell of my being is that spark, that purpose is yours and only yours. So, you came to fulfill that, only you can. So just know that nothing's hidden, that as you lean in towards your heart and just with a simple question, what do I love? And then feel your gut like a magnet pulling you, right? So I was in college in LA and then I was like, ooh, my gut is like pulling me to La Jolla, California. Like I can feel it, like it's a magnetic like pull, right? And so I started trusting that. So that spark, that purpose is going to pull you in a really positive direction. And you may not understand why in your mind. Like when I walked into the dean's office, he's like, are you crazy? Like you're leaving a scholarship? And I was like, maybe, but I'm leaving. So people might think you're nuts, but it doesn't matter because your mind is like, it's not as intelligent as your heart or your gut. Your gut is even more. It's like 500 like million cells in your gut. It's insane the amount. So we're so intelligent as a being beyond our mind. So when you're listening to that intuition, that is the spark of God within you. That is your inner knowing. So to reawaken it, ask yourself, what do I love? And just start doing those things because it's going to wake up that energy inside of you. And then the second thing is trust yourself. Trust that gut feeling to guide you, right? Third step, take action. Just do it because it's putting it in motion, right? It's actually manifesting it into form, right? So we have a business idea. Okay, well, I created the flyer and website, put it on somebody's windshield, got my first client. If I didn't take that action, they wouldn't have come up to the office, right? So we want to put into action what it is that we love, right? So we can share the community, grow the community, yeah, be the change that we want to see. Yeah.
Oh, I love that quotation so much. This is a bit of a long-winded question, but hopefully it's going to make sense. And you might not even agree. It's like, anyway, how has the world changed in the last few years, affected your vision or the ability to follow your heart? Or maybe if others feel like the world has changed so much or things in their life have changed because of that. This is a small part of me feels like we're living in a different world. I know for me, like Hawaii always called me, but now it's like I'm not sure actually. But do you get you getting a question and all of that?
Mm. Yeah, it's fascinating. So what comes is I kind of foresaw what was going to happen. I remember telling my business manager at the time, like, a gas is going to be admitted into the air because like people like were too smart, like everybody's tracking everything else. And so when, everything happened the last years, I wasn't surprised. So for me personally, it actually changed into actually a really positive experience because most of my business at that time was online anyways, and so we just connected deeper with people and everything grew. So and also I think it allowed a lot more introspection for people, and I was already comfortable with that, so I was like, yay, people want to go within, awesome, like this will work. So it was fun. So for me, I feel like it changed globally. Man, it's whew, this was so it's brought a lot more light. So two of the closest people to me, my dad actually being one of them, ascended beyond the physical during that time.
Oh, my angel, I'm
So
so sorry.
it's a light, right? That it because so much transition happened, it was so important and still is for us all to be from our hearts because there's so much moving, right? So the only way through it is seeing through the eyes of love. And so now, I mean, I was always close with him, but now he's like my angel and guide, right? Because I'm speaking to him intuitively in that capacity. And the other one was like my second mom. So it's like it is, and I know this has happened for a lot of people. A lot of people's very close physical forms would transition, and so that I wasn't expecting that to come through, but it did because the beauty is the opening of the heart and going within, and yet. the contrast was, from what I can see, the energy was a lot of like trying to destroy and take down. And so, we, even here had to like reverse the energy and bring life force in. And I got visualizations for people to heal, and I did within 24 hours, because it's like, if you can reverse the energy, it won't even enter. Like, I just had a client last week, I'm like, do this. She never even got it, because it's like, there's a certain frequency that won't even let it in. And most of all, honestly, it's just love and forgiveness, by the way. That's the frequency, because you cannot meet it at the same level. Because at first I was like, oh, I'm going to fight this. And it was like, that's not going to work. So the only thing that worked was actually going at it from a place of love and forgiveness. And then it just transformed it. And so if you are experiencing that, or anything like it, just move into those energy. And the color frequency is pink. It's funny, I'm wearing pink. It's pink. It's through the heart and the backside of the heart. Yeah. So hopefully that's helpful. I think the world, honestly, the positive part has become a lot more compassionate. There's a lot of, coming together, caring about people. Loving ourselves in a deeper capacity, because we see who we really are beyond the body. So that's part of it, but we're able to evolve our consciousness and decide what we want. It helped a lot of people be like, man, you know what? I've always been wanting to create that business. Can you show me how? Because they're like, they had time to think about what they really wanted.
Yeah.
Think about what you really adore, right? And how can you expand that? And if you could make money doing what you love and monetize it, what would you do? Like, that's how I started the school, is like, spiritual entrepreneurs, let's monetize that, because like, you were beautiful, right? Like, all these gifts, like, why not make it monetizable so you can help people and help yourself? It's just, to me, it's the most practical, loving thing to do, because you're doing it from that place.
I love it. I love that. And I think what I got as you were speaking also was that understanding that some of us are still in the birth canal, coming out of the biggest flipping rebirth ever. Yeah, beautiful. Thank you. And you also have a gift for us, don't you? Tell us about that, beautiful.
Yeah, I will. And just real quickly before that, just to highlight what wants to be birthed. That might be a really great question. So if you're coming out of the birth canal, what wants to be birthed? What wants to be created through you, as you? Just what wants to come forth? Let's see, the free gift. So I believe it's on the website. It's an intuitive meditation to living your best life. So I basically go through each of the energy centers and help you open them up so you can feel your connection to your intuition in them. And yeah, it's really beautiful.
Oh, that's adorable. Thank you. And that's a meditation they can do over and over.
Yeah, yeah, it's a video.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. Beautiful. Was there a question that you wish I'd asked you?
I mean, I guess you asked me did you ask me how I got connected to my intuition? It's always fun to share that. And then, man, I'm like, I'd love to hear from the audience, but you guys can always email me or whatever, just engage. But yeah, I think, how I got connected. Did you ask me that? I don't remember.
I did. Yeah. I think, yeah.
Yeah, I think the only thing would be about how I work with kids. That's my passion. Like, we have a nonprofit for kids where we go in orphanages, and now I actually work at a school. So we're developing the intuitive child. So it's actually, we've already sold it, but we're developing it more because I want to get it out to even more people. So if you're interested in helping your child or children, it's at the intuitivechild.co is where we're really growing and expanding that, because we just know children, like, we all felt it even as kids, right? So how we illuminate more of that energy. Thank you for asking,
Jerry. Oh, thank you, beautiful. Thank you so much for your time. It's been amazing. It's been, poignant and fun. Thank you.
Of course.
Thank you all for watching and listening and joining us, and enjoy the gift, and see you next time. Bye, beauties.